And now for something completely different.
Alright, hello. This is mainly just my student-led conference except in video format, and I feel like with this I will be able to get a lot more thoughts out since, sometimes I'm just kind of restricted to the format, but yeah. This is basically just like a student-led conference in a video form. Alright, so my name is James or Jimmy. You're probably seeing me right now in front of you. And I am in the 10th grade, going on to 11th now, and I am in the school year of 2025 now to 2026, but right now I'm ending 10th grade. So, first question I have is how I improved this semester. I'd say, in my opinion, I think, I don't want to sound like I'm an airhead, but I think I improved more in terms of emotion rather than intellectually, since, well, I did improve intellectually, but I feel like I took more time to develop my thoughts and my personality rather than try and, work more on my brains rather than my, social skills, I suppose, because, I'm gonna be 17 this year, which is still kind of insane to me. Well, the next question I have for myself is about collaboration and how I collaborated. I'd say I collaborated pretty well with a lot of different people, like in person and virtual. I made a lot of good friends. Friends, I think, are probably the best thing that's happened to me. And my old friends are still pretty cool, too. I think they're great as well. Excuse me. Sorry, I just had breakfast when I recorded this. But yeah, collaboration was all around pretty good. Communication. Now, communication, I feel, this is my one critique. I think communication was a little bit hard to do this year because some teachers did one in particular, I'm not going to name, but it felt like I had trouble communicating with them, and a lot of other people did as well. But other than that, I think communication was pretty good. I liked a lot of what people were giving, in terms of teamwork and teacher skills. And yeah, critical thinking. I feel like critical thinking was my most important one this year because I have trouble thinking. Yeah, my parents probably know that. But I have trouble thinking a lot in terms of, say, processing my feelings, and I feel like I've gotten better at that. And critical thinking in terms of work, I definitely have gotten better, because sometimes beforehand I was like, oh, what do I do? I don't know what to do. But now I'm a lot more socially and mentally there, and not off doing something else and pretending like nobody cares. And creativity, I feel like this year was probably the most creative for me. I experimented a lot. I did, different clothing styles. I got into different types of music. I used to be like, oh, old stuff good, new stuff bad. But I feel like I've come around and more open. I've become more open to newer things because A, some of it's really good in terms of storytelling and talking about personal stuff. And B, I feel like I had a lot of fun experimenting and trying to be a different sort of doing things a little differently since, well, I'm going to be an adult soon. Still hard to believe that. But, yeah, the creativity was pretty good this year. Character. Now, I think I have gotten better at my character. Because I don't know, Miss Deskin, I don't know if Miss Deskin will see this, but in 9th grade, I made the slideshow saying I didn't like how I was turning out in terms of character. And then as soon as I, looked at myself and I looked and saw how I was coming along, I needed to do something. And I think the best thing I could have done at that moment was try and reevaluate myself. And it definitely was. Because before, I used to really be a lot more closed off to emotions and just trying to be the haha funny guy. But I feel like I've developed a lot more in terms of showing my emotions and, trying to be someone not just for jokes but also for advice. I don't know if I succeeded or not. Some people can, say I didn't. I really understand that if they did, because there were some moments where I was like a little bit mean, but I tried my best not to do that, because like I feel like my past self is my worst self, and I really hope I did improve to many people, and I feel like I did well for myself. I think I don't want to sound like an airhead once again. My growth and opportunities. I guess the support I got from my teachers was really good. Mr. Granger and Miss Deskin and Miss Choi were helpful. They did help me. They were fun to be around. I don't, there may have been moments where I was mad at like one of them, but I feel like it was more out of the fact that I wasn't doing well myself rather than just hating for the love of the game. I don't hate them. I just want to put that out there. But yeah, they really helped me. I'd say for my parents, I feel like they definitely did help me a lot. There were some moments of abrasiveness and a little bit of a lot of frustration, actually, I'll be honest, but I have trouble understanding them sometimes, but I guess we all have that problem. It comes down to sort of, trying to be the best you can be for them, but you feel like you're not doing your best, so you feel more angry. I guess what I'm trying to say is I do want to be good for my parents, but I don't know if I can do what they want me to do. And as for myself, I kind of explained it in the last slide on accident. Well, I feel like I've gotten better. I feel like I'm doing well. I'm hopefully gonna get my driver's license this summer, fingers crossed, try and kind of start back up my YouTube little show I got planned. I haven't made a video in a while, mostly because of, personal stuff, but I don't need to get into that. And other than that, that is really all I have to say. If there's any questions, you can just refer them to me and not the video, because this is pre-recorded and I can't really talk to you from the video. But yeah, thank you very much for listening to this almost 8-minute long video about me talking to myself in my house alone. Yippee!